Let's ride, baby. Let's ride.
The Purdue women's basketball team started 2022 with a bang on Sunday, knocking off Rutgers 60-58 on a bank shot by Janae Terry at the buzzer, her second buzzer beater of the season. Purdue now 10-4, wins its first non-conference game of the year to go 1-2. The Boilermakers will be on the road on Sunday, taking on the Michigan State Spartans at the Breslin Center, and that will be a 2 o'clock tip-off. Good evening, everybody. From Wolfies in West Lafayette, it is the Katie Gearlds Show. We're going to be talking with the head coach about Boilermaker women's basketball. A little bit later on in the show, Abby Ellis will join us, not just from Melbourne, Australia, but from her apartment here on campus. She'll be joining us to talk about her season and her decision to become a Boilermaker earlier this year, which is something that we're all happy about. So we got plenty to talk about as the new year dawns, and we'll have the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union right after this. This is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield. At the other end, dribbling through traffic, gets it off to Janae Terry. She drives. Terry double team, gets in the air, throws the ball back for a three-pointer by Harden, and it's good. Cassidy Harden with the trip. Behind the three-point line, throws off to Terry. Terry lobs it inside to Waltman. She has to leap high to catch it. Throws it off to Ellis. In the corner, here's Layden. Three in the air, good. Madison Layden with the triple. Ellis back off to Layden.
Breaks the 3-minute scoring drought.
There's Harden with another three. She's got it. Cassidy Harden hits the triple. 5 to play third quarter. Layden on the right sideline. This is in front of the Boilermaker bench. Now right off to Janae Terry. Down low to Ricky Waltman, who lays it in and scores and draws the foul. All of last season and half of the year before. They tried to kick it inside to Singleton, off her hands, turnover. Here's Terry coming down, one-on-one against Lassiter. She goes up with a shot, banks it, hold, and draws the foul. China Cornwell is the fifth player out there. Ellis in the front court. Boilermakers up 18 with the ball here. And now they go back door to Abby Ellis, who goes up for the reverse layup and score. Good steal there by Morris, who brings it down the middle. Morris passes it off to Maddox. Her ball is tipped away and stolen by Ellis. Now here comes Terry, one-on-one against Mason. Terry takes her to the rack, lays it up, and scores.
Now Purdue doesn't need to panic. They need to get back and get a basket right here. Break this 10-0 run.
There's Ellis on the offensive end with 10 on the shot clock. Ellis gets a step, drives through two, lays it up, and good.
Well, you got to try to get down to maybe the 4-minute mark before you bring Madison Layden back in, and you hope you can just hang on until then.
Janae Terry, double team. They throw it inside. Waltman with the catch, lays it up and in.
And a great move by Ricky Waltman.
I should say for regulation. They start in a 1-4 set. Here's Lassiter. Bounce pass on the far side. This is Petrie. Petrie driving, had the ball tipped away. It's loose. Rokia Doumbia has it. It's a jump ball. It's Purdue's basketball. Looking, gets it in bounds to Terry. Terry drives. Terry with a short jumper off the glass. Yes! Yes! Purdue wins it at the buzzer. The second buzzer beater this season by Janae Terry.
Terry, cool as a cucumber. She knows what she's got to do. Takes it in.
Oh, yeah, it's good. No
good.
question. Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Wolfies Grill with the largest view of the game outside of Mackey Arena. And we are joined by the head coach. Haven't been here for a while, so first of all, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, and it was a happy New Year. You started off with a bang with a win over Rutgers, 60-58. We've got a lot of games to talk about, but let's start with the most recent. You came out well in the game. You built a 20-point lead in the second half, but as we all know, basketball is a game of runs. They got on a run, and you made a play at the end. So what was your summary of the basketball game?
That was it. I'm glad we...
We have a lot more time to fill than that.
I'm glad they gave us a 20-point lead. We worked we were locked in discipline to what we were trying to do and got in foul trouble, sent them to the free throw line, and watching us play, if we can't get out in transition, we struggle in the half court, and sending them to the free throw line just didn't allow us the opportunity to get in the open court. Getting in foul trouble, I honestly don't think I did a good job with that second group of kind of just keeping everything under control. I thought, Janae just kind of bailed me out there.
By the way, you can follow us tonight on Facebook. We're on the Purdue Athletics site, so let us know where you're watching from and if you have any questions for the coach. We mentioned that basketball is a game of runs, and you could tell late in the third quarter that Rutgers started to build some momentum, and sometimes you can see it by body language. I thought they were very passive in the first half, but once they got their roll going, you could tell that they were going to be tough to beat down the stretch.
Yeah, we got in foul trouble, and they just put us in a high ball screen, and we didn't do a really good job of adjusting coverages as the third quarter went on, and then they get to the free throw line, they knock them down. I think they get 2 and 1s during that stretch. And we missed some open shots. I think in the fourth quarter, to start the fourth quarter, Cass missed 2 wide open threes that those would normally go in for us. And then just had some poor decisions. We made some poor decisions, but luckily for us, we got a defensive stop at the end of the game, and then Janae found her way to the rim.
Well, let's talk more specifically about those 2 stops. So it was a tie game. There were 20 seconds left. They called a timeout, had the ball in the front court. You were able to get a steal. Cassidy was credited with the steal. What were you able to do defensively, though, to stop them on that possession?
Yeah, they had been running a diagonal back screen for their post, and Cass had done a really good job of guarding her the entire game. And we actually, Abby and Mad, denied the pass away just on the ball reversal, and I think Zero tried to cross over Janae and just kind of lost control of it. And Cass got her hands on it, and then Roe did a great job of just getting us a jump ball. And thankfully for us, we have possession arrow. Yeah,
and that's something we always try to set late in the game, is the possession arrow becomes so important. Back in the day, you used to have a jump ball after every held ball, and I think part of the reason they don't do that anymore is you don't have any officials that can throw the ball up straight. I do think that's part of it.
I'll plead the fifth.
But there are times I'd rather have the arrow than a couple of timeouts late, because it's so important in a crucial situation.
Yeah, the arrow is huge, and I'm glad we had a couple timeouts late in the game. We called one just to make sure our defense was set against their sideline, and then obviously calling the timeout to advance the ball down the stretch with 3 seconds.
So 3.1 seconds left. You inbounded the ball, this time from the sideline opposite. We saw Janae Terry in a similar situation go from right to left. This time she goes from left to right. I have to admit, I was a little surprised the way Rutgers defended it.
Yeah, well, honestly, we flooded Abby and Cass to the ball side before Madison threw the ball in. Mad's look was to go to Ricky if they did switch it. They didn't switch it, and so then that left JT one-on-one. And, honestly, the way Abby and Cass shoot it, and Mad, the way they shoot the ball, it's, you kind of do have to stay home. Against Georgia Tech, we were trying to go inside to Shea a little bit more, but I thought, if we could get the ball to Janae in her right hand, she'd find a way to the rim.
And she was able to hang. The one thing that we've really noticed through Janae is she can shoot the ball through contact. I don't think there was maybe minimal contact on that play, but she was able to hang in the air. She's not a kid that's a huge jumper, but she's got the ability to hang in the air and get those and one opportunities, and she got that shot off for you.
Yeah, and she'll always remind you how small the other defender is, or flex on somebody. So, I'm glad she's on our team.
Had to be a happy locker room after, because those are the games. If you lose games like that, they're awfully hard to come back from.
Yeah, obviously we were excited to get the win, but there was some frustration too that we let that one almost slip away. And we took Monday off and came back today and had 2 really good practices. We're focused and locked in. So I think I look at today and I thought, listen to Coach Paint talk about how you can win, learn from tough losses. I think we're going to learn from that win on Sunday.
All right, we'll have more of the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union after this. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield. They get it quickly and bounce to Terry. Terry hangs in the air and scores. Trying to get the and one there, didn't get the foul, but did get the bucket. Yep. There's a big screen out on top. They get another free jumper for Wolf. This time she misses. Here's Waltman with the rebound to Ellis. Ellis again looking to push. Ellis, nice crossover dribble, goes all the way through and lays it in.
That's a good attack by the point guard.
Pinballed around, and this time Purdue's got it. Terry up to Harden. Harden working against Gearlds. Harden's going to go through with the Euro step. Yes, and one. What a play. Held a 12-footer to tie the game at 12. In the corner, wide open 3 by Layden. That one's good. Madison Layden wide open in the left corner. Hits the... Miami is shooting the first half. Moore gets a step and lays it in. Moore goes up in the Purdue. Here's Terry with the rebound. Back to Harden. 3 in the air. Yes. Cassidy Harden finally hits the triple. That was wide open. Terry at the other end drives. Terry with a wraparound pass out on top to Layden for 3. It's good. Madison Layden hits her second triple. Abby Ellis in the front court. Picked up by Scott. Gets around her. Ellis high off the glass, scores.
Well, they're trading baskets right now.
Moore with a behind-the-back dribble off to Doumbia. They throw it on the left side. Layden gets a step. Layden with a floater off the glass. Good. A little arm there as well. Janae Terry back the other way to Harden. Quick 3 up. Good. In transition. Waltman's got it. Needs some help. And finally gets it off to Jayla Smith in the left corner. She drives baseline. Smith with a runner. Yes, and one.
Jayla Smith, a little acrobatic, behind the basket. So she kind of had to come back in the plane where she could get the ball off. Shoots it with her right hand. Left-handed, she grabbed it one-handed last time down.
There's Janae Terry trying to split a double team. She's cut off by Freeman. Back to Harden for three. Good. Cassidy Harden with the triple. That's a big one. Rips it away, and Purdue has numbers. Ellis down the middle. Left side Harden. Open three. Up and in. Cassidy Harden caught it in rhythm.
They made that play so she would have the wide open jumper on the baseline.
So Wolf has 17, brings her team back within 6. Here's back at Wolfies in West Lafayette. No show next week, by the way. The men have a game next Tuesday night, so our next show is coming up 2 weeks from Tuesday. Today's January 4th. January 18th will be the next show right here, and we'll be on at 7:10 again from Wolfies. On Facebook tonight, Ira, our good friend in Wisconsin, wants to know if there was any significance to the lime green tops that the staff wore on Sunday's game. Was it just a fashion statement?
Oh, just a fashion statement. We rocked those, didn't we?
There you did. It was outstanding. Outstanding. Lori is watching from Remington tonight, and also our good friend John from Littlestown, Pennsylvania. You've played 3 games since the last show before the Rutgers game, and that was the end of your non-conference schedule. Miami back on December 19th, an 82-76 win over the Red Hawks, and I think that one will be remembered because of what Janae Terry did, because it's something that not many Purdue players have done. Only the third triple-double in history with 11 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. Janae Terry has turned out to be a jack of all trades for this basketball team.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I feel like at the end of every game when we're talking, you look down on the stat sheet and you don't know what she's done throughout the game. She just fills it up. She filled it up at Illinois, and she's doing exactly that for us, and exactly what we thought she would do. It took us a while to figure out where she really fit in with the pieces around, and since we moved her to the point, she's really taken off, and it's allowed Abby to be a little bit more of a scorer, and that's something that Abby really, really thrives in.
Then you came back and beat North Alabama in the last game before the break. 86-53 was the final score in that one. First, let's talk about the atmosphere. 5,400 fans. You had a lot of kids in the building that day, and a lot of excitement.
Yeah, it was a fun day. It was fun to see that many people. I know when I played here, and you're talking about 8,000, 9,000 people were in the stand almost every single game, and we've got to work to get ourselves back there. And I think every game, I feel like we have a little bit more, and those kids did a really good job for us.
I know listening to you after the game, you were a little bit less than pleased about the way your team played the first half in that game. The second game was more Purdue style. You've been as a player before. You've done this as a coach. The last game before the break sometimes is the toughest because the kids have their bags packed. Mentally, they try to stay in it, but it's been a long grind for those kids since they got here in the summer.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And obviously, human nature is kind of just take your foot off the gas, but that's something we talk about and kind of preach to them all the time is just, let's show our growth. Let's show them how much we are maturing. In the second half, we came out and, obviously played a lot better in there in the second half, but we're hoping that, in the future, we don't have those moments. We can actually really show, our maturity and our growth as a basketball team and a program.
We talked about Janae Terry with the triple-double. Ricky Waltman had her first double-double in that game with 14 points and 11 rebounds. And Ricky Waltman, again, a player who has really come into her own in her junior season.
Yeah, it's a good thing for us, obviously, with Shea being out right now. But, watching from afar, you knew Ricky always had it in her. Just really kind of needed an opportunity. Someone to really believe in her. And I feel like our staff does a really good job of trying to put Ricky in good spots to be successful. The best thing about it is Ricky wants the ball now, and I think in the first last 2 years that she's been here, she's kind of shied away from that. But she'll post hard and kick it out and repost, and she'll really want it. And the ball's going into her, it's not coming out. She wants to score it, and we need that. Her offensive production is great, but her defense and rebounding has always been there, and now we're getting points from her, and so it's good to see.
You sent everybody home for the holiday break. You got back, and you thought you were going to be playing the Wisconsin Badgers on December 30th, but there were some COVID issues within the Wisconsin program. It's been a tough deal. 14 teams in the Big Ten. 5 teams already have had to pause their seasons at least a little bit because of COVID.
Yeah, it's wild to think that we still live in that. I feel like maybe we'd crawl out of that somehow as a country or as a world, but it's still here. And we talked to our kids today with the regular student coming back to campus, just being a little bit more diligent. Obviously, there's some things that you can't really control, but you can control how many times you wash your hands and wear your face mask, use your hand sanitizer, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully if anyone out there sees one of our kids in the grocery store without a mask, make sure you go take them one, because we think we have a special thing going and we want to play as many games as we can.
It's always difficult, too, when you come back if you've got a game to prepare for, but all of a sudden you get them back here off of the break, and then the plug gets pulled, and now you're not going to play until the weekend, and you don't have classes, so how do you bide their time? How do you fill their time in that?
Oh, we have plenty of things to work on, Tim. We have a lot of things we can work on.
I'm thinking about fun things that they can do while they're waiting.
Practice is fun. You can ask Abby that. No, we last week we had a few days that we went twice a day. We went twice today. We'll go once tomorrow, and then take Thursday off. Another long week. This group, they like hanging out with each other, so we don't have to do any of that mandatory fun stuff. They enjoy being around each other.
All right, we'll have more in 2 minutes on the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. This is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Tennessee did it after missing so many players to the portal. O'Connell rolls, going to let go, deep, wide open. A Purdue first down and more for Black Thompson. On the U-turn on Lower Broadway. He is in. Touchdown, Purdue, 75 yards. Down the field. Second and 13. O'Connell gets rid of it quickly. That's good for a Purdue first down. Anthrop dances his way past midfield.
That's the best fullback in college football.
O'Connell going deep. Is caught out at the 2-yard line.
Finished it, but Tennessee did their part as well.
Third and 10. Hooker has a hit out of his hand. Falls on the grass, and Purdue scrambling for it. Boilermakers have it. Little boot and a dump. Touchdown, Payne Durham. Low snap. O'Connell fires. Caught. First down, Purdue. It's playing coverage. Over the middle. Caught by the tight end, Payne Durham. Into Tennessee territory. Spins free. Durham down the sideline. A stiff arm. He is in. What a play by Payne Durham. It goes for 62, and Purdue's back in front. O'Connell's got time. Got it. Low snap. O'Connell fires sideline. Caught! It's Brock Thompson again, and he will rumble all the way down to the sideline for a 70-yard touchdown.
Right there off the edge.
Hooker looking. Scramble. Takedown! For Purdue's 9th win of the season. It is good, and Purdue in a back-and-forth affair wins it in overtime.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Wolfies Grill with the largest view of the game outside of Mackey Arena. I want to say a special hello tonight. Brianne is watching on Facebook. I know Brianne has had some health issues here in the last few weeks, been in the hospital for a while. Good to be watching again. Brianne, we can't wait to see you at Mackey Arena. She's a fixture at the arena, and we want to see her back rooting on her Boilermakers. Another hello from Remington, and Shannon says she could listen to talk all day because she's so straightforward and honest. You were a player. You appreciated honesty from your coach. Talk about how that molded you, how you interact with players as a head coach.
Yeah, it's one thing I think I'll always tell anybody I'm around that if I'm not being straightforward and honest, then we probably have a problem. Just don't sugarcoat it. Just be real with them. And I think we live in a world where being honest with somebody is like the greatest form of how much you respect them. And if you have a group that respects you as a staff and as a coach, then they're probably going to run through a brick wall for you.
You have to have a lot of tough conversations throughout the course of a season when you got a player that's struggling, whether it's struggling mentally, struggling physically, and you need to take on something head on. How do you do that?
Yeah, I use that degree I got from Purdue.
That liberal arts degree. That's
I just you just relate to them. I'm still young enough that I've been in that situation not long ago. Those same mental tough moments. When I was here, I didn't tell a lot of people, but I worked with Chris Carr. I worked with the sports psych. I was a perfectionist. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to make every shot. And, I had to have somebody help me through those moments. And I want to be there the same for our crew, the same way. And right now they've bought into what we're trying to do, and they've been fun to be around.
I heard somebody once describe baseball as a sport where the key is to be able to handle failure, because the best hitters in the world are going to hit maybe 300, which means they fail 7 out of 10 times. A basketball shooter, a great three-point shooter, is still going to be shooting 40 or 45%. They're going to miss at least half their shots. You talked about the mental aspect. How do you go past that and okay, I've got to get to the next play. You've got to have that next play mentality. Sometimes, though, when things aren't going well, that's really hard to do.
Yeah, it is hard. I look at Madison right now. Madison's a perfectionist, and she hasn't shot it as well lately, and she's being hard on herself right now. And I just told her the other day, and she had 11 points in the first quarter, and then today at practice, I went up to her and I was like, she's the difference why we won the game. She steals the ball. She steals the ball late. She never misses a box out. She's denying. She's doing all the little things. And so I think as a coach, that's my job as a reminder to make sure they see all the other little things that they're doing. And I always tell them, like, I'm never going to take you out because you miss one. I'm never going to take you out because you turn it over. It's what you do after. We're gonna make mistakes, right? Let's just find a way to fix it.
We mentioned the contributions earlier that Ricky Waltman has been making. She's in the starting lineup now because Rashea Kyle has been injured. What can you tell us about her status and when we might see her on the floor again?
Yeah, she's off. I think yesterday she went for a scan, but she's out off the little cart thing that she's been rolling around. Everybody's been pushing around in, but she's on crutches now. But she's been doing, cardio. She's on the Peloton today. All those things. So she's done a really good job taking care of her body. She hasn't put on any weight. She looks really good. Done a lot of boxing in the practice. Hitting Jason with the boxing gloves and trying to keep her heart rate up. But I just think we just kind of hold it steady, and Ricky's doing a good job. Roe and Mide and Ava and Noggs in practice. I know those kids might not get the same minutes that Ricky's getting, but they're doing everything in practice to push Ricky and make Ricky better, because we don't have our practice guys right now. And I think that's going to help us down the stretch because they're getting those reps in practice right now.
All right, we're going to give the coach a breather. We'll bring Abby Ellis up when we come back. It is the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. And this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield. The other end, dribbling through traffic, gets it off to Janae Terry. She drives. Terry double team, gets in the air, throws the ball back for a three-pointer by Harden, and it's good. Cassidy Harden with the trip. Behind the three-point line, throws off to Terry. Terry lobs it inside to Waltman. She has to leap high to catch it. Throws it off to Ellis. In the corner, here's Layden. Three in the air, good. Madison Layden with the trip. Ellis back off to Layden.
Breaks the 3-minute scoring drought.
There's Harden with another three. She's got it. Cassidy Harden hits the triple. 5 to play third quarter. Layden on the right sideline. This is in front of the Boilermaker bench. Now right off to Janae Terry. Down low to Ricky Waltman, who lays it in and scores and draws the foul. All of last season and half of the year before. They tried to kick it inside to Singleton, off her hands, turnover. Here's Terry coming down, one-on-one against Lassiter. She goes up with a shot, banks it, hold, and draws the foul. China Cornwell is the fifth player out there. Ellis in the front court. Boilermakers up 18 with the ball here. And now they go back door to Abby Ellis, who goes up for the reverse layup and score. Good steal there by Morris, who brings it down the middle. Morris passes it off to Maddox. Her ball is tipped away and stolen by Ellis. Now here comes Terry, one-on-one against Mason. Terry takes her to the rack, lays it up, and scores.
Now Purdue doesn't need to panic. They need to get back and get a basket right here. Break this 10-0 run.
There's Ellis on the offensive end with 10 on the shot clock. Ellis gets a step, drives through two, lays it up, and good.
Well, you got to try to get down to maybe the 4-minute mark before you bring Madison Layden back in, and you hope you can just hang on until then.
Janae Terry, double team. They throw it inside. Waltman with the catch, lays it up and in.
And a great move by Ricky Waltman.
I should say for regulation. They start in a 1-4 set. Here's Lassiter. Bounce pass on the far side. This is Petrie. Petrie driving, had the ball tipped away. It's loose. Rokia Doumbia has it. It's a jump ball. It's Purdue's basketball. Looking, gets it in bounds to Terry. Terry drives. Terry with a short jumper off the glass. Yes! Yes! Purdue wins it at the buzzer. The second buzzer beater this season by Janae Terry.
Terry, cool as a cucumber. She knows what she's...
It is time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler-made. Because of the holiday break, not much action going on overseas. The only player who played in the last week was KK Hauser with her team in Poland. KK had 4 points and 3 assists in 27 minutes, but her team lost by the score of 63-55. So we should have more to talk about here in a couple of weeks when we come back on our next Katie Gearlds Show. We are joined on this show, though, by Abby Ellis, who comes to us by way of, first of all, Melbourne, Australia, and then Cal Poly, and now here in West Lafayette. Welcome and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Your family got to celebrate the New Year's before the rest of us, right? We always see on CNN when they go around the world, it seems like they always start in Australia.
I know, and I always ask if it's going to be a good day because I feel like they'd know before time. But, yeah, that time difference is a bit of a struggle, but, you know, I get to talk to them and all that.
How many times have you been able to get home since you came to the United States originally to play?
Well, because of COVID, my freshman year, as soon as the season kind of came to a halt, I was able to go home and then come back for summer practice. And then same as last year, classes were online, so I was able to go home kind of for that last quarter, and then I transferred, so then I went straight to Indiana after that.
We see, Abby, more and more players internationally from Europe. We're seeing them from Africa, from Australia. When did you decide that you wanted to play college basketball in the United States?
It was honestly a dream pretty much since I was like 16. I'd see it on ESPN and watch March Madness with my family, and I just wanted to do that. I want to be a part of that, be that college experience, and I think it was becoming more common for girls to go over there and boys as well. So it was a pathway that was really paved out for me, and I don't regret any bit of it.
I assume you know a Libby Ellis, because Libby is telling us on Facebook, "Hey, Abs, countdown is on. So excited to give you a big hug. Don't forget to smile."
That's my mom.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
You played basketball in Melbourne, but you also played something, it says in your bio, called netball. What is netball?
Netball is like a similar game to basketball, kind of. You're on a court. There's 7 positions each team, and there's kind of two rings without a backboard. And it's just kind of, Australia play it, New Zealand play it, and England play it. They're probably like the 3 big countries that play it. And it's like basketball. You just can't dribble. It's all passing. So I think it's really helped with my basketball, but it's definitely something that I think I really love to play whilst playing basketball.
You beat me to my next question. What skills do translate? If you can't dribble, the passing, I would assume, then gets a little bit better.
Yeah, it's the passing and it's the movement off the ball and trying to get open, and then playing defense one-on-one kind of, it's a lot of footwork stuff. So I think that's really helped with how the style I play. I'm a bit everywhere, but yeah, netball's definitely helped with that.
Cal Poly was your first destination. Talk about your time there. You were a first-team All-Big West selection. You started almost every game and had a very successful career out west.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a great program, had great coaches. The Big West was fun to play in. It was very fast, and which I loved playing in. But it was kind of time coming to that sophomore season, and especially with COVID, that I felt like I needed to change. Bring my basketball to the next level, and I knew being in a big conference I could be able to do that. But I honestly think I wouldn't be the player I am, nowhere near the player I am today, without being at Cal Poly and being under those the expertise of those coaches.
What was the transfer or translation like going from Australia, first of all, to California, which is a style change and a culture change? Now you're coming to the Indiana, the Midwest. Mm-hmm. What was that like?
That was crazy, and being in California, especially at Cal Poly, we were out on the beach, so I thought I was like in a movie kind of thing. But then I knew that Indiana, the stereotypical cornfields and stuff, and I thought they were kidding. But then they picked me up from the airport, and I realized on the way home that
we have soybeans too.
Oh, my bad. And it's definitely been a change, and I'm still adjusting to the cold weather. This is the coldest I've ever been in my life. So. Honestly, we're in the gym the whole time. Our campus is beautiful, so I haven't gone to explore much of Indiana and Lafayette, but it's definitely different.
If you're saying this is the coldest you've ever seen, I'm assuming then you have not experienced snow at this point in your life.
No, well, not really. The first game we had against Finley was the first time it snowed here, and that was the first time I've ever saw snow. And the first thing I did was I went outside. It was like 8 a.m. and I just took a picture of me in the snow because I was so excited. But then it was actually really cold, so it didn't last. The excitement didn't last too long.
Yeah, the thrill is gone once you're out there a little bit. All right, we'll have more with Abby Ellis when we come back. It is the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union, and this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield. They get it quickly and bounce to Terry. Terry hangs in the air and scores. Trying to get the and one there. Didn't get the foul, but did get the bucket. Yep. There's a big screen out on top. They get another free jumper for Wolf. This time she misses. Here's Waltman with the rebound to Ellis. Ellis again looking to push. Ellis, nice crossover dribble, goes all the way through and lays it in.
That's a good attack by the point guard.
Pinballed around, and this time Purdue's got it. Terry up to Harden. Harden working against Gearlds. Harden's going to go through with the Euro step. Yes, and one. What a play. Held a 12-footer to tie the game at 12. In the corner, wide open three by Layden. That one's good. Madison Layden wide open in the left corner. Hits the... Miami is shooting the first half. Moore gets a step and lays it in. Moore goes up with the Purdue. Here's Terry with the rebound. Back to Harden. Three in the air. Yes. Cassidy Harden finally hits the triple. It was wide open. Terry at the other end drives. Terry with a wraparound pass out on top to Layden for three. It's good. Madison Layden hits her second triple. Abby Ellis in the front court. Picked up by Scott. Gets around her. Ellis high off the glass, scores.
Well, they're trading baskets right now.
Moore with a behind-the-back dribble off to Doumbia. They throw it on the left side. Layden gets a step. Layden with a floater off the glass. Good. A little arm there as well. Janae Terry back the other way to Harden. Quick three up. Good. In transition. Waltman's got it. Needs some help. And finally gets it off to Jayla Smith in the left corner. She drives baseline. Smith with a runner. Yes, and one.
Jayla Smith, a little acrobatic behind the basket. So she kind of had to come back in the plane where she could get the ball off. Shoots it with her right hand. Left hand, she grabbed it one-handed last time down.
There's Janae Terry trying to split a double team. She's cut out by Freeman. Back to Harden for three. Good. Cassidy Harden with the triple. That's a big one. Rips it away, and Purdue has numbers. Ellis down the middle. Left side Harden. Open three. Up and in. Cassidy Harden caught it in rhythm.
They made that play so she would have the wide open jumper on the baseline.
So Wolf has 17, brings her team back within 6. Here's Terry on the offensive end to Ellis. She fires an open three right. Actually, Eric, if we can take that back here, that's a segment from the last show. There we go. We're back. Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We are live at Wolfies Grill with the largest view of the game outside of Mackey Arena. Abby, the story that we have in the game notes is that your mom sends you a box of ribbons. Is that correct? And you pick out a ribbon to wear in your hair each game. How do you make that pick, and how many do you have to choose from?
There's many. She sent many colors, various shades of those colors, even the pink ones for the pink game. Basically, when I'm feeling kind of lazy, there's some that has the bow attached to the hair tie, which I just kind of put in, and then other days I feel putting in the work, and I just tie that ribbon up. But I color coordinate with the uniform.
Very good. One of the things you brought with you is outstanding free throw shooting. 93%, I think, coming into the last game. You were in the top 10 in the nation last year in free throw shooting. Is that a natural ability? How much have you had to work on that? And do you feel pressure when you're at the free throw line?
Well, free throws win games. They're easy points that you should put in the bucket. But honestly, I think it's from my last college being a bit scarred about running every time we missed a free throw. So made sure we had to put up 100 free throws each week. So I think that actually really helped with that.
The coaching change that came in this year, Katie Gearlds was supposed to come in as an assistant coach, and just before the season started, she became your head coach. For those who have not been around Coach Gearlds, how would you describe her to your family and to others who don't know her? And understand she's watching right over Corey's shoulder here.
I think her knowledge of basketball is unparalleled, I think, and the way she's able to relate to us players as she was a player. She thinks, how we would see the game, and she accommodates to every individual, and it makes you feel like you're a part of a team, and she really cares about you. And in general, she's such a cool person. She's young, and she's always happy and smiling, which is when we really like her.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm blessed to have her as a coach, and I know we're all very thankful that she's able to lead this team.
Happy coach, happy team.
Exactly.
There you go. You were able to use your size, and you're 5'6", but you're able to shift and get some points in the paint. And I noticed in the last game you had a reverse layup where you were able to use the rim almost to block off a defender. How has that developed? And because your size is your size, you can't control that, but you can control how you use it.
Yeah, exactly. And I've always been small, so it's kind of thing I've learned through my juniors. But definitely using the footwork and the key, and just kind of knowing where the defenders are in front and behind was something that I learned as a junior and coming in. But coming to the Big Ten, these girls are way bigger. So it took me a while to accommodate in the summer. I think Ricky and Shay got many blocks on me during practice. So I've had to accommodate, but the coaches have been really helpful with that each practice. And, they gain their blocks up, so it's good.
But the one thing I've noticed is you are fearless on the court. You don't seem to be bothered by the fact that you probably, in most cases, are going to be the smallest player out there. So it's something that you've certainly adjusted to.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something I can't change. And I always look at the roster and scout, and I always find that 1-5-6 girl that probably every team has, and it makes me feel so much better. But I think size is just a number, and if you play with a big heart and you go hard every possession, it really doesn't matter.
The great thing about college basketball and college athletics, it brings people from all around the country and all around the world together. So as your teammates welcomed you in, what was the biggest misperception they might have had about Australia, or the question they would ask you the most about?
It was definitely about the spiders and the snakes, which I totally disagreed with them on. A few of them had gone to Australia with Purdue a few years ago, so they actually could relate to them and where they'd been. But they just was like, I'm not going because of the spiders and the snakes, and it's just not true. All you need to do is get some spider spray, and then it's not going to harm you. So, yeah, but they were very welcoming. Took them all. Oh, they also mocked my accent a lot, which is fun.
Didn't even notice it. By the way, you've got a future with the Australia Chamber of Commerce if you want that. So it sounds like you're selling your home country very well. Abby, we're glad that you made the trip, first of all, to the United States, and second, a little bit further west, or further east, I guess, to Indiana. Have a great Big Ten season, and we can't wait to see what the rest of the year holds.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be back with more in 2 minutes on the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Tennessee did it after missing so many players to the portal. O'Connell rolls, gonna let go, deep, wide open. A Purdue first down and more for Black Thompson. On the U-turn on Lower Broadway. He is in. Touchdown, Purdue, 75 yards.
Down the field.
Second and 13. O'Connell gets rid of it quickly. That's good for a Purdue first down. Anthrop dances his way past midfield.
That's the best fullback in college football.
O'Connell going deep. Is caught out at the 2-yard line.
Finished it, but Tennessee did their part as well.
3rd and 10. Hooker has a hit out of his hand. Falls on the grass, and Purdue scrambling for it. Boilermakers have it. Little boot and a dump. Touchdown, Payne Durham. Low snap. O'Connell fires. Caught! First down, Purdue! It's playing coverage. Over the middle. Caught by the tight end, Payne Durham. Into Tennessee territory. Spins free! Durham down the sideline! A stiff arm. He is in! What a play by Payne Durham! It goes for 62, and Purdue's back in front. O'Connell's got time. Got it. Low snap. O'Connell fires sideline. Caught! It's Brock Thompson again, and he will rumble all the way down to the sideline for a 70-yard touchdown.
Right there off the edge.
Hooker looking. Scramble. Taken down! For Purdue's 9th win of the season. It is good, and Purdue in a back-and-forth affair wins it in overtime.
Back at Wolfies for another segment of the Katie Gearlds Show, and it's hard to follow Abby Ellis. What a natural she is, and just a fun kid to be around. Isn't she?
And honestly, I know you guys see it every day in the games, and you just got a little bit of her personality, but it is every single day in practice. it is a blast to be around her.
Well, you talked earlier. This is a team that likes to be around each other, and as we start to hear from more of these young women week after week, you can understand why. It's a pleasant group.
Yeah, they are a fun group. You know, I was just telling a story that we had weights this morning, and normally the staff will meet them on the court, but they got out of weights earlier, so we come down into Cardinal after, and everybody's in the court, and they're having shooting games, all just joking around, and it's fun. Beth tells a story. I don't know if she told this if she said this on the radio show, but our very first game, we go to pregame meal, and in the past, everything was 4 people here, 4 people here. That but we walk in and they had pushed all the tables together, and they were all sitting together eating pregame, and Beth was like, almost got a tear in her eye, like, I hadn't seen this. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, that's not normal? She's like, no, that's just not normal. And I just think that this group they gel, and they're fun to be around. We love being around them as a staff. I know Abby just says I'm smiling and happy all the time. And it's a lot because they just work hard. You're not going to get mad at them if they're doing everything the right way, and they are.
And we know that it's a long basketball season, and teams are going to go through adversity. And we saw last night with Matt's team, a game that at home you hate to lose those games, especially early in the season, but it's how you respond to that. And it's always the next play mentality. You had it as a player. I know nobody was harder on Katie Gearlds than Katie Gearlds, but at some point you got to move on to the next play in the next game.
Yeah, you have to. You got to have a short-term memory, and you got to move on to the next play. I tell them all the time, and I know I said that before, like, it's not the first mistake, the second mistake, but how you respond, how you react to that. What does your body language say? Because body language screams. And those are things you can control, whether you're on the court or on the bench. Like, be there for your team. And we've just got a group that understands that we can only put 5 people on the court at a time, but they're locked in and engaged. I mean, everybody hears Ava over there, and she's just getting better every day in practice, and her opportunity, her time is coming. And I think a lot of that is going to be just because she's so locked in and engaged every single play in a game. But in practice, it's the same.
You talked earlier, there are a lot of things that your team needs to work on and is continuing to work on. But what do you like the most? And I'm talking from a basketball standpoint, not from a personality standpoint. From a basketball standpoint, what do you like most right now about this team?
Just how hard they work and how much they trust us as a staff. We tell them all the time to trust each other, but we're asking them to do things that they hadn't maybe had never done before in the past, or we guard a ball screen differently. There's no questions. It's like, okay, coach, we got you, and that's it. I mean, you look at Brooke, who accepted her role coming off the bench, and she's like, okay, I got you, coach, and that's just the mentality we all have. Like, whatever it takes for the team to win, that's what makes them so fun to be around, and probably a lot of the reason why we've won 10 games already this year is because we just care about winning. And we're all willing to do whatever it takes for that to happen.
I have to say that the coach's demeanor sets a lot of the tempo for a basketball team and a basketball program, and you have been able to maintain a calm exterior. I watched you and I've watched that replay of the last 3 seconds. You just stood by the corner. You said, I can't remember, your arms were full, and you never flinched. The ball went in, people are jumping up and down, and you never moved a muscle.
Yeah, well, I think Beth was going to go to HR after I pushed her against Georgia Tech, so I figured I better be calm and relaxed in that one. But a lot of things were going. I felt confident in the play, and honestly, my mind was, okay, if she misses it, I was thinking about what we got to do in overtime to adjust, but really, I was not happy with the way the game had gone, so that's probably why we didn't celebrate that one as much.
All's well that ends well.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll have our final segment of the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union right after this. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield. Abby Ellis at the other end, dribbling through traffic, gets it off to Janae Terry. She drives. Terry double team, gets in the air, throws the ball back for a three-pointer by Harden, and it's good. Cassidy Harden with the trip. Behind the three-point line, throws off to Terry. Terry lobs it inside to Waltman. She has to leap high to catch it. Throws it off to Ellis. In the corner, here's Layden. Three in the air, good. Madison Layden with the trip. Ellis back off to Layden.
Breaks the 3-minute scoring drought.
There's Harden with another three. She's got it. Cassidy Harden hits the triple. 5 to play third quarter. Layden on the right sideline. This is in front of the Boilermaker bench. Now right off to Janae Terry. Down low to Ricky Waltman, who lays it in and scores and draws the foul. All of last season and half of the year before. They tried to kick it inside to Singleton, off her hands, turnover. Here's Terry coming down, one-on-one against Lassiter. She goes up with a shot, banks it home, and draws the foul. China Cornwell is the fifth player out there. Ellis in the front court. Boilermakers up 18 with the ball here. And now they go backdoor to Abby Ellis, who goes up for the reverse layup and score. Good steal there by Morris, who brings it down the middle. Morris passes it off to Maddox. Her ball is tipped away and stolen by Ellis. Now here comes Terry, one-on-one against Mason. Terry takes her to the rack, lays it up, and scores.
Now Purdue doesn't need to panic. They need to get back and get a basket right here. Break this 10-0 run.
There's Ellis on the offensive end with 10 on the shot clock. Ellis gets a step, drives through 2, lays it up, and good.
Well, you got to try to get down to maybe the 4-minute mark before you bring Madison Layden back in, and you hope you can just hang on until then.
Janae Terry, double team. They throw
Great
it inside.
pass.
Waltman with the catch, lays it up and in.
And a great move by Ricky Waltman.
I should say for regulation. They start in a 1-4 set. Here's Lassiter. Bounce pass on the far side. This is Petrie. Petrie driving, had the ball tipped away. It's loose. Rokia Doumbia has it. It's a jump ball. It's Purdue's basketball. Looking, gets it in bounds to Terry. Terry drives. Terry with a short jumper off the glass. Yes! Yes! Purdue wins it at the buzzer. The second buzzer beater this season by Janae Terry.
Terry, cool as a cucumber. She knows what she's got.
Credit union for Purdue fans. Learn more at PurdueFed.com. We've got 3 games actually before our next coaches show, but we're going to focus on the next game because that's at Michigan State on Sunday. And Nia Cloud, their outstanding guard, one of the best players in the Big Ten. We've seen her up close and personal way too many times. Nia Cloud is a player that can take over a basketball game.
She can go, and she can go some more. She put up 50 in a game earlier this year, a couple weeks ago against Florida Gulf Coast, I think. Yeah, you're not going to stop her. You want to try to contain her and make her. She's going to get her points. You got to make sure she's taking a lot of shots to get her points, and then you got to make sure nobody else around you beats you. Clean up all the little things. We're going to have to go up there. We're going to have to play well. We've got some time to put a game plan together, but as do they, right? They were supposed to play last night and
right.
They didn't play, and they don't play again until Sunday. So both will have some time to get better, and who knows? Maybe we'll both surprise each other with a lot of different things.
You have a game now that you're, I guess, going to have to try to make up against Wisconsin. How is that going to work in the Big Ten? Is there a protocol that's been put in place yet?
I honestly think it's up to the Big Ten. Actually, I had Ken call there today and to see if we could try to play Wisconsin on Friday and Michigan State on Sunday. I just think we're going to get in this weird position late in the season. We're going to be all trying to make up all these games, and we had a week, and I know they're coming out of protocol and all that stuff, but obviously you want everybody to be healthy, stay safe and healthy. But at the same time, we told our kids are doing their job, and if we've got enough, no matter where it is, who it is, when it is, we'll be ready. Yeah,
and you have no control over the conference schedule. It would have been great to have a midweek game this week because your kids aren't in class. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's their focus right now is only on basketball, but it is what it is, as we say.
Absolutely, and we just gotta when it's time to play, it's we'll put our shoes on and see what happens.
Then you're gonna have a couple of tough ones at home against Iowa and Indiana, but first things first, let's see if we can take care of the Spartans on Sunday and keep this thing rolling. Congratulations on a great start so far to 2022, and let's see if we can continue in East Lansing.
All right, let's do it, Tim. Thanks.
All right, the Boilermakers taking on the Michigan State Spartans will be on the air at 1:45 on Sunday from the Breslin Center. Then next Thursday, a week from this Thursday, the 22nd ranked Iowa Hawkeyes come in. That'll be a 7 o'clock start, so we'll have that one starting at 6:45. And then January 16th, Indiana, which had a big win earlier this week at home, knocking off Maryland. That'll be a 2 o'clock start, so 1:45 our start time there. We want to thank our engineer, Wes Scott, and our producer today, Eric Wake. Again, we don't have a show next week. We're trying to work around games here with both the men's and women's basketball schedules in the month of January. So no show next week. Our next 2 shows will also be on Tuesday, 2 weeks from tonight and 3 weeks from tonight. And then in February, we'll go back to our normal Monday 7:10 time slot. So for the head coach and for Abby Ellis, this is Tim Newton, and we thank you for joining us from Wolfies. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.